Hello, I am back at it. It's been a while again, but I've been pretty busy doing vocals and stuff. I'm very close to getting done with the vocals for the album, but I've also been working on another project which has been extremely time consuming, especially for the last couple weeks. I've been doing a study of the most popular music since 1940, so going year by year and looking at the Billboard year-end Hot 100 chart of each year. So that's 80 years, and I would take the top 20, so a total of 1,600 songs, and I categorized each song based on two things, genre and also what I call rhythm style, which is just the rhythm that it uses, the type of groove that it has, or maybe it's not very groovy, maybe it's really groovy. There was a clear pattern of different eras kind of being defined by different rhythms. So yeah, I kind of want to just show you a little summary of what I found and give you a sense of what this whole project is. So let's hop into my computer. Here is the sheet where I have every single song, so you can see it goes all the way up to 2019, and I'm going to be adding 2020 once that data comes out, once this year ends. I have the rhythm style written for every single song, and then the genre. To the right, I pointed out all of my favorite songs, and then I have the description of the rhythm styles. There were, I think this is 52 rhythm styles that appeared. Only 14 of them really turned out to be super significant, and I'll get into what I mean by significant in a second. Most of them have some kind of description that's about the tempo, so I kind of get a beats per minute range of some sort. So you'll get some things that are separated by their speed and only by their speed. So for instance, I have slow groove, regular groove, and fast groove, and it's the same thing, it's just one's a lot slower, one's regular speed, and one's really fast. It's all about just the rhythm. So this isn't about what type of song it is, this isn't about the genre, this is really all about just the patterns that are used. Some things require drums to be there, some things don't really require drums to be there. For instance, like slow swing, you can get the slow swing feel without having a drum set playing it, or an electronic drum set, either way. A lot of the stuff from like the 40s, a lot of the kind of crooner ballads didn't really have much drums at all. Some of them had zero. You could still tell that it was slow swing, that there was clearly a rhythm there that was important. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot I can say about these. There's a bunch. I mean, you can read through all the descriptions yourself if you want to. Again, I'll put the link in the description. Let's take a look at the genre descriptions. Just write down and try and make it as specific and objective as I can. It's really difficult with genres because they all have similarities, and there are times where you can just tell a song is a certain genre, but you can't really explain why. I was trying my best to make those descriptions, and I really wanted to base it on how the music sounds. I didn't want it to be about where the type of music originated, you know, what people are normally playing it, like that type of stuff. I don't want to talk about that. I want it to be entirely based on, what does this sound like? What happened is I ended up with like a crap load of genres. I think this is 83. I had to split up a lot of things by decade, so like pop is split up into each decade. I also did some charts and graphs, so we look at this as a pivot table, and I narrowed it down to the 14 most prominent rhythm styles. What I mean by prominent, you'll see this little 6+ down here. That just means that any rhythm style that appeared 6 or more times in at least 1 year is prominent to me. So any rhythm style that never made it to 6, all of those got eliminated, and that eliminated, as you can see, most of them. Then also I had it just turned into a graph, and I had to make this really, really messy because with 14, you have to have some way to distinguish each rhythm style on this graph. I started having to add these markers and stuff. So it looks a little janky, but I mean, it gets the job done, and you can kind of look at it and get a good sense of it. Something I noticed is that popular music has kind of a tendency to go through phases of speeding up and then slowing down. Faster and faster rhythm styles are getting used more and more, and then we get sick of that and we start using slower rhythm styles, and then we start using faster ones again, and we start using slower ones. And I saw 5 cycles of this happening. You could say kind of 5.5 because we're kind of in one right now. We went from fast boom bap disco stuff to slow groove and then to trap. So that's really slowing down, and trap is a very, very slow rhythm style. And I think we're about to speed up, and we're gonna go into kind of fast trap. Fast trap is exactly what it sounds like. It's trap, but it's fast. So we have the same thing for the genres. I had the same criteria for which genres are prominent, but instead of it being 6 or more times that it had to appear in at least 1 year, it's 7 or more times. The peaks that I kind of saw were usually around 7. Ones that never rose to 7 just never really rose to any significance. So these are really the ones that were number 1 at some point. The 80s were an interesting time here. You see kind of genres taking turns. Got rock, then pop, then power ballads, then back to rock, back to power ballads, and then R&B has its resurgence, and then we're just all R&B from there on out. Well, not there on out. Eventually we get to club music and hip hop, and then we go back to pop. This is a really great way to see the trends that I'm looking at. I kind of describe what each era is, in my opinion. And again, these are genres kind of how I define them, and I think most people would agree with me on most of my choices, but it's really cool to just see it like this chart and really get a visual sense of it. I also looked at the most popular artists, and this was kind of a funny one. If a song had multiple artists, like say if there's a song that multiple people collaborated on, I only listed one artist, so that does kind of mess with the numbers. That didn't happen a whole lot and it didn't really have a huge impact, but that was something I did. And also I didn't include features. So if somebody was featured on a song, it doesn't matter. The artist whose song it is the one that I listed. Either way, Bing Crosby by far had the most, which is kind of hilarious to me. Like, Bing Crosby, really? But I mean, he was really famous, and I think in the 40s it was kind of like there just weren't as many people making music. Nowadays it's like anybody could have a hit song, like literally anybody. You can do everything yourself. And I mean, Bing Crosby was in an era where you literally couldn't do anything without having a label. You needed a band to record with you. You needed all kinds of equipment. You needed top-notch everything to even have a chance. The barriers to entry are so high that there's gonna be a lot less competition. Anyway, long story short, yeah, Bing Crosby, very, very famous. 21 songs that appeared, which is ridiculous. Elvis, not very surprising, 15. Perry Como, this is kind of what I'm talking about the old days, kind of giving you an advantage, kind of inflating the numbers. Because like, I never heard about Perry Como, but apparently had more hits than Rihanna and Usher. The craziest thing, I think, there are 2 things, and I point this out in my little note here, but Janet Jackson, 9 appearances, and Michael Jackson, 6. That's just, something's wrong there. I don't know what is happening. I don't know what that is. Also, the Beatles only having 8 appearances and being at number 17, not even cracking the top 15. Pretty crazy. So anyway, we can talk about my future predictions. Like I was saying, I think fast trap, since we kind of go through these slow, fast cycles, I think music's gonna speed up a little bit more. I think I also mentioned this, that hip hop and pop have been fusing together. They've been forming one genre, and I call that genre trap pop. That's actually something that I didn't have it in my my genres graph because it hasn't reached 7 yet, but I think it will. I think it's going to be pretty significant in the next few years, and I think it's going to be using the fast trap rhythm style and having a lot of qualities of kind of modern pop music, but also modern hip hop music, really combining those qualities. And then I think it's going to experiment with different rhythm styles, then eventually one rhythm style that at this point we've never heard, or we haven't seen top the charts yet. That rhythm style will kind of become the main thing that trap pop uses, and then it'll kind of keep evolving until we have 20s pop, and I think 20s pop will be the dominant genre after trap pop. I think trap pop will evolve into 20s pop, and it'll be a combination of hip hop and pop music. It'll be as like seamlessly combined as you could possibly imagine. So yeah, that is my project. It was really interesting to just see these trends, see how music has evolved. And yeah, I found some trends, but for the most part, like, there's not a whole lot of patterns. Like, it wasn't like some obvious, oh my God, there wasn't anything that really jumped out and was super solid to me. But still, there was a lot to learn and a lot to see. And I think just the fact that it's very clear that rhythm is extremely important in the phases that popular music goes through. That was something really fascinating to me. It definitely makes me wonder what the next thing is going to be, because at some point something is going to replace trap. We're not going to just have trap forever, but maybe trap will kind of evolve to something new. Maybe just something totally out of the blue will appear. I don't really know. I made my predictions, but like pretty unlikely that I'm actually gonna be spot on with him. But thanks for watching. This is a little bit different than what I normally put out, but it's music related and I wanted to share this, and I also am filming this video to put on my website. So it's going to be in both places. So link in the description, check out my website. It's called Rhythm Wiki. I haven't, bought the URL. I'm using the free Wix right now. It's got everything there. It's got that spreadsheet that we just looked at. Thanks for watching. I will see you fairly soon. I think next time I'll see you will be once I've finally finished recording these damn vocals. So yeah, see you then.
Ain't that heaven up a floor? Seems it's clear we can't be more.